Hey guys, welcome to another video, and if you're new here, my name is Amber and I'm a mixed media artist just trying to learn and experiment and better myself with my art all of the time. So I'm really excited about today's video, mostly because I went on my very first plein air sketching trip and I can't wait to share the process with you and my thoughts and everything. But I'm also excited because this is going to be the first video that I share a glimpse into this little sketchbook. And honestly, this is the sketchbook that has changed everything for me. I have filled, I don't know, just about a quarter of it now, maybe just less than a quarter. And most of the pages in here are going to be their own videos. But today, I did have all those planned first, but because I went on my plein air sketching trip and I just wanted to share that with you straight away, I'm skipping right to my pages that I did on the trip. So I'm really excited to talk you through everything that I did and also pack in the supplies and my thought process behind the supplies that I decided to take. And yeah, so I've got lots to talk about. So without further ado, is that the words? Without further ado. Yeah, I think so. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, see you in a minute. So, before every great art adventure, we need a great art kit. This is probably one of the most exciting parts for me about plein air sketching. I know that really is not the most exciting part, but isn't it fun just packing yourself a little kit? You might think it's quite stressful because you can only take so many supplies out with you, but I literally had about 10 minutes to pack my bag. I think that actually helped me because instead of looking all around my studio like which supplies should I take, I'm not sure, and I knew that I only had 10 minutes to just pack some very quick supplies, and I kind of guessed what colours I thought I would need. And yeah, so I've got my little gouache palette here in my portable painter micro. I absolutely love this palette. I love the colours I've got in it. I did a little art haul and swatching session that I'll link up in the cards now if you want to check that out. And you can just see the colours that I bought for the palette as well some of them anyways. And then yeah, so my pencil case is just, I can't remember the make of the pencil case or anything, but I got it from a Micron Pens advent calendar a few years ago, and it's just a really good little pencil case for a really small sketching kit. And my art creation sketchbook there I thought might fit in there, but I was wrong, so I did need to take my sketchbook separately, but I took a backpack anyways. Next up is my mechanical pencil, and then I always do just throw my trusty little red Colour Ace pencil in there. I'm not sure if I used it or not, I can't remember, but I like to have it with me. And I did put probably too much stuff in this sketching kit. I didn't use it all, and the one thing I really needed was a bright red Neocolor or a bright red pencil or something, just for the little boats that I saw, but I missed out on those because I didn't have my red pencil, so I did it orange and blue instead. Next up is my spray bottle. This was really handy. This is probably like a must-have for me, my spray bottle, whether I'm in the studio, whether I'm anywhere actually, and especially plein air painting, because it was so hot that day that my gouache paints were drying out so much and I had to constantly keep spraying them to keep them nice and wet and ready to go. Next up is a few brush pens, water brush pens. I've got that Arteza one there, which came in really handy to do my skies because it's got a bit more of a broader brush on it. It's more of a flat brush, and I don't know why I packed the other pencil leads there for my mechanical pencil. I think I must have thought I was going to do so much sketching I was going to run out. But I absolutely did not need those. I've also got my trusty Micron pen as well. I love my Micron pens. I use them all the time. I didn't even use that one in today's trip, but I just do like to have a little Micron pen with me just in case I feel like I need to add some nice lines in or something like that, or do some writing. I like to write with my microns. I took some tissues with me, just a little packet of tissues really. I also have this cute little book that I got for a present that I thought I'd take just in case I wanted to write about my adventure, but I didn't end up using that. Always good to take an eraser with you. This Derwent one is retractable and it's probably my favourite eraser to use other than a kneaded eraser. This brush pen or water brush pen is also from Derwent, and my friend Helen gave me that when I went to visit her. And if you're watching, Helen, thank you so much, because I really love that water brush pen and I think I'll get myself some more. I used it a lot, so thank you. Next up is the colours. So I think I've got enough tools there to get sketching with, and I had to watch myself because it's so easy to just overdo it, isn't it? I knew I only had an hour to get painting as well, an hour for all my art in the day really, so I was on the verge of taking too much for sure, and I definitely took a few too many Neocolors, but then I got carried away because I knew I could fit much more in. But I have a little rearrange in a moment, and I was trying to look through my Neocolors at like colours that I might want. So my destination for the day was Margate Beach, and usually when I go to Margate, I've been a few times because my husband works there. Usually when I go, it's been a really dull, miserable day, so I started off with a few greys because I just thought I've got my gouache paints and I can make pretty much any colour I like out of those. And yeah, I've always seen Margate in a bit of a miserable light, I suppose, and I used to work there a little while myself as well, so when you work somewhere it tends to be quite a miserable place, doesn't it? Well, not always, but it was for me. So when I went, I knew it was going to be a lovely sunny day, but I didn't expect how beautiful it really was going to be. We had the most beautiful blue skies, the water was absolutely gleaming, and I'm glad I took a lot of different colours of Neocolor because I felt like I had all the colours I needed, and except for that red though, I should have known there was going to be like some boats, and I might need a red. Who doesn't take a red? I feel like red is quite a big colour to take with you really, but anyways, I didn't take a red, and then after my trip I didn't want to go and add that red in on my little boats because I just thought then it takes away from like my plein air painting of what I actually did on the trip. So it's just something I learned from, and I'll remember that those boats were actually red. I really do love the vibrancy of the Neocolors, especially this arrangement of pastel tones that you get in the 40 set. I absolutely love the jade green, or I suppose it's more of a turquoise aqua green. I used that for the water and made Margate Beach look so much more beautiful and tropical than it actually was, but I love the style, and I love the colour palette actually, and I'm really looking forward to playing with the whole colour palette a little bit more. I feel like I've got such a good thing going with my colour palettes lately. Obviously I haven't shown you the videos yet of me working in this small sketchbook, but I've done so much experimenting with colour and limited palettes, and yeah, I've just learned a lot about the colours I like to use, so it is really exciting for me to use limited palettes. I like to have a limit on the colours I can use because I feel like I can push them further. So I suppose I'll talk about that a lot more in a future video. Now, I was thinking about taking my actual travel brushes, but I thought I'd just stick with the water brushes because well, obviously it's much easier and I haven't got to take another water cup and like extra water with me or anything like that. So I decided against that and just took another small brush pen, but I didn't end up using my other Derwent brush pen that I just packed just because it was unnecessary. So I only ended up using 2 brush pens, and that was plenty. I was being a bit precious about my portable painter here as well, so I put some tissue in just so the Neocolors didn't like draw all over the side of it. Another thing that I thought that I could have probably done was snap my Neocolors and perhaps put more colours in and had lots more room. I think next time I take this pencil case out, I might snap a few of them and just take a few more colours, but smaller nubbins of those crayons, even though I think it's going to kill me to snap my Neocolors. The ones that I've got that are accidentally snapped, which is my white and my pink colour, I prefer using them snapped, but those was an accident, and the thought of doing it purposely makes me feel really uncomfortable. So yeah, I didn't do that, but I should have done, because look how many more colours I could have brought. I do apologise for my pronunciations of things today. I am really tired and I feel like I am doing a much worse job of talking than any of my other videos, if you can believe that. So yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to redo it and you'll just have to deal with it in the nicest possible way. Just chucking another sneaky little Neocolor in there, one for luck. Okay, so now I've got my little travel art kit all packed. I've got my little mini sketchbook ready to go, and after packing a quick backpack just with a few camera bits in and a small tripod, we are ready to head to the beach and also into the unknown a little bit. I definitely felt like I was walking into the unknown a little bit here. I've never plein air painted before, so I definitely felt a little bit nervous, but I knew that I only had an hour, and David was only going to take about that time to get all of his work done that day, and then we needed to rush off because we had a few more places to go, so I knew I couldn't really have any more time, but I decided to just go for it. As soon as we arrived, I ran straight to the beautiful sandy beach there, and I got my supplies out. I found this ping pong table that was just set up there, and it was so sturdy that I was able to set up on there, use it as a little table, and even sit on it as well. So I found a really great spot to start my painting. One thing you don't want to do when you don't have much time to actually paint is spend too much time looking for a spot. So I'm glad I got a spot really, really quickly, and I was ready to sit on the sand if I needed to. I just was lucky enough to find that spot, and I could also sit on here and look in all different directions on the beach as well, so I didn't even have to move. Here I am finally putting colour to paper. So I definitely doubted myself in the beginning of this process. I was looking at this and I was like, oh, I really like the colours, but I don't know how this is going to come out, and I really doubted my abilities and I didn't feel very confident. But I'm really glad that I kept going, and I kept going twice because I did feel like this for both paintings that I did on this day. So I'm glad I kept going, because it really does prove that you have to trust the process and also trust yourself, because I doubted myself, like I just said, but I ended up with two paintings that I just absolutely adore, and I've learned so much from them. So even if you hate what you did on a day of art, you still learn something. You always learn something, so that's the most important part. This little seagull came down and just watched me actually for quite a while, so I wanted to add him into my painting, even though it was already near enough half finished by now. I just loved how he sort of came down and sat there and obviously was asking for food, or maybe he was asking me to paint him, so I'm not sure. But it's times like this that I really wanted to add into my paintings. So I look at this one now and I think of that little seagull that came down and visited me on my little trip. So I thought, I don't know, I just thought that was quite cute. So here's a really flattering camera angle for you to look at. Not only did I not want to spend too much time on the beach looking for an area to sit, I didn't want to spend too much time videoing or setting up my camera, because obviously that would take time away from my actual painting, but I knew I was going to make a video about my very first plein air painting trip. So bad camera angles, that is what we've got in this video. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add all my clips onto this video now, and I'm not going to talk too much about the actual painting of what I'm doing, but I want to talk about what I learned and how it made me feel to go outside and paint like this. So I hope you don't mind the bad camera angles, but if you look at those nice green dots, that's some nice effects there, and I didn't even mean to do it. That was the sunshine, so that's why I'm showing you this. And I'm just trying to keep it real. I'm always trying to keep it real, so double chin it is. Okay, so when I got home that day, I wrote down in my journal a few things that I wanted to keep in mind to talk about in this video. Apart from the fact that I just couldn't stop smiling all day long after this little sketching hour, I felt like I learned a lot as well, and also broke through a few of the blocks that I've been feeling with my art recently. There were a few things that I felt really helped me with this. The first was only having an hour, like I mentioned earlier on in the video. The second was also having a limited colour palette. My goal was to do 2 paintings on the day, maybe even more, but I didn't get around to that. And I wanted to keep them at 15 minutes each. Well, these took me about 25 minutes each, I'd say. But having that first goal of 15 minutes really helped me to get colour on the paper very quickly. And then if I had a little bit more time, then I carried on, which is actually what I did. So timing myself and also having that really limited palette of colours helped me to get colour on the paper very quickly and to make fast decisions. The timing thing also helped me with not worrying about perspective too much. I didn't worry about perspective at all, actually. I picked a view and then I just drew it as I saw it, and I didn't really worry about anything too complicated or technical. I'm more focused on a few lines in the right places and the colour palette. And when I say lines in the right places, I don't even necessarily mean that, because the lines weren't in perspective at all. In fact, I ended up getting my whole perspective all wrong in both of these paintings, but that didn't matter, because just having the feeling and adding in those lines, even if they were out of perspective, added to the whole sort of feeling and energy of the painting, and it all just works out in the end. So I learned that perspective to me really doesn't matter, which is quite the contrast of my last video where I was trying to paint in perspective. And the truth is, I got really bored with that painting by the end of it, and I could have sat here and done art like this, loose, messy and energetic all day long, and that tells me a lot. I learned about what I like as an artist during this little trip. I was nervous about maybe people walking around the beach and looking over my shoulder or coming up to see what I was painting. That was something that made me nervous about going outside to paint. But it was lucky that the beach was quite empty that day, so I didn't get it. The only thing that I got was some ladies were stood on the ledge above me, and I overheard them say, "Oh, what a nice scene." And I don't know whether they even saw my painting or whether they just saw that I was painting and the scene was lovely. I don't know. But when I heard them say that, that actually made my nervousness go away a little bit. I don't know why. It was just something that I thought I actually wouldn't have minded whether they wanted to see what I was painting or whether anybody came up to me and see what I was painting. So that was sort of a thing that made me nervous that I would now be over on my next trip. So that's another good thing. And the final thing that I would like to say in this video is I felt proud that I just did one thing that I said I was going to do. Usually I say I'm going to do things and I never actually do them, even if it's something that I really want to do. And today on this trip, I did a thing I said I was going to do, and nothing makes you feel more fulfilled and proud than that, honestly. So if you've been wanting to go plein air painting and you've been putting it off, let me be the one to tell you, go out there on the next nice day and take a super limited array of art supplies and even just a small sketchbook, and even if it's just for 15 minutes, I promise you, you will not regret it. In fact, it will only do you good. If it's something you've always wanted to do, go and do it. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video and joining me on my little first plein air adventure. I appreciate it so much. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and also leave me a comment. I'd love to know what you thought of this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye!